We are joined by phone now by Anthony Cormier. He is an investigative reporter for Buzzfeed News. He's one of the reporters on this story. Anthony, the headline contains the most devastating part of your article, and that is President Trump directed his attorney to lie to Congress. What more do we know about this?
Hi, thanks for having me. We know that this is based on a series of documents and interviews with witnesses before the special counsel even got to Michael Cohen. So that the special counsel's investigators had an inkling or an awareness of this directive from the president to Mr. Cohen, even before Michael went in and testified recently. And when he did, we did go in, we did tell them that, yes, indeed, I was directed to do this. It sort of put them over the top. It gave them all of the evidence that they needed to at least establish this.
And do we know in that session, did Michael Cohen have to raise his right hand and take an oath to testify?
I don't know.
Yeah,
that's a good question. I can try to ask him.
Okay, because sometimes in these situations they do, sometimes they don't. But in any event, lying to Congress is in many instances a crime, federal crime. And so there's the president of the United States directing his personal attorney to lie to Congress. Do we expect this to be part of Michael Cohen's testimony when he testifies just, I think, 22 days from now in a hearing in the House of Representatives?
That's a really good question. My understanding is that the Cummins team, the folks on that panel that are setting this up, have made an agreement not to ask questions that may overlap with the Office of Special Counsel's investigation. That's a little bit fluid, I'm told, at the moment, so we'll sort of have to wait and see.
I mean, I would think some of what's fluid about it is the investigators want to protect information that other people who might be questioned in that investigation don't know about. But if, for example, now that you have made this public, now with your public reporting on this, it is entirely possible that this opens up an avenue of inquiry in that hearing that might otherwise not have been opened up.
That certainly does. I don't imagine that Congress would be terribly happy that, number one, they're not happy that they were lied to by Mr. Cohen, and they're certainly not going to be happy to learn that he was told to lie by the president.
And the other way to do this, if the Congress really wants to take testimony on this from Cohen, would be to work out some kind of arrangement with the special prosecutor where this part of their testimony, if the special prosecutor insists, takes place in private and is not public testimony. But it's hard to believe that they will have Michael Cohen in the House of Representatives testifying under oath, and no one there will be able to ask him about your reporting that the president of the United States or directed him to lie to them.
Right, certainly. You would expect that the very people that were lied to would want an explanation of what happened. And
do you have any, I don't want to get into your sources here, but what do we know about what Michael Cohen has done with this information? Who has Michael Cohen told the president directed me to lie to Congress?
He told the special counsel's team. I don't think he's told a whole bunch of people. He didn't tell me. So it appears to us that, from our sourcing, that they had the broad contours of this directive before he ever showed up. And when he did, this was one of the lines of inquiry that they pressed on him. And if you look at his sentencing memo, the special counsel indicates there that Ms. Cohen gave credible and helpful information about how he put together the letters and his testimony to Congress. So it appears that in the sentencing memo filed, I think it was last month, the special counsel was leaving at least a breadcrumb or a clue. He was suggesting publicly that there was something here about Michael Cohen preparing his testimony to Congress that was of interest and of use to the special counsel. So it was sort of sitting out there and perhaps hidden in plain sight.
And I'm reading from your reporting, Anthony, saying that the special counsel's office learned about Trump's directive for Cohen to lie to Congress through interviews with multiple witnesses from the Trump organization and internal company emails, text messages, and a cache of other documents. Cohen then acknowledged those instructions during his interview with that office. And this brings us back to the extensive criminal investigative discovery that the prosecutors have been doing inside the Trump organization, inside the Trump company.
Right.
We know they have, to some degree, the cooperation from the chief financial officer in there. Donald Trump's, in effect, longtime accountant within the company. And so that's, for Michael Cohen to be walking into an interview where they've already obtained references to these kinds of things through Trump organization emails and texts, as you say, Michael Cohen had to know right away they know this story.
Yeah, the gig was up. When he walked in, it became very clear to him, I'm told, after the first interview, he comes back for another, and it's very clear to him that they've got the goods, right? They have receipts on this stuff, and he tells him, that I was directed to do this.
Anthony Cormier, thank you very much for your invaluable reporting tonight, and thank you for being able to join us so quickly. Really, really appreciate it. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on the button below for more from The Last Word and the rest of MSNBC.